Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. If you follow basketball, you know Chilltown Hoops.
So this is really good right here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. Y'all know what time it is when y'all see me. It is Chilltown Hoops. We do this weeknights on Chilltown Hoops Network on YouTube. We are here this evening because there's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about that we haven't discussed. And I think it's interesting that we see the differences between the two. So I think we're all in agreement that I think we're all in agreement that the international game has virtually taken over the NBA. If you think about who the best player is in the NBA, it's an international player. Who the top 5 players in the NBA are, 4 out of 5 of them are international players. The league MVP was an international player. And the question that needs to be asked is, well, why is that? Why are these international players so much better? Well, when you watch the EuroBasket championships at the end of this month, they start on the 27th, and they got some good teams in it also, right? They got some really good teams in it. Slovenia's in it, Serbia's in it, Germany's in it. All the top-notch European basketball clubs or countries are in it. It goes from the end of August, which is the 27th, to the middle of September, the 14th. And again, we got some damn good talent in the we got some damn good talent in it. Now the question that needs to be asked is, why are these teams like why are these teams as good as they are? Right? Why are they as good as they are? Because the game, which if you think about what's going on here, the game should be far more advanced. You think about what happened in 1992 and what the Dream Team did when they went to Barcelona. So when they went to Barcelona, they basically revolutionized the international game because a lot of people from Europe couldn't get that close to Jordan or Magic or Ewing or David Robinson or Malone. And the fact that they were able to get an up close and personal look at these guys, and not only get an up close and personal look at them as guys, but also get to see their games and understand like how different basketball is, to learn from those guys and to up the ante, right? And when you up the ante, you make yourself better. So watching that Barcelona, that team that went to Barcelona in 92, well, what do? They spark guys like Marshallonis, and who was already in the NBA at the time, Detlef Schrempf, Dirk Nowitzki, who's coming into the league. He's not in the league yet. But these international players, a lot of them, Manu Ginobili, said that their career really started with watching the Dream Team in 1992 because of what they had seen from those guys. And I can get with that. I 100% can get with that, because that inspiration from those guys does nothing more than make you as a ball player, does nothing more than make you as a ball player either better or quit. So when I think about the international players in today's game, I often wondered why, especially when I was younger, like why do they get so busy in international play, but when they come to the NBA, it just doesn't translate? Well, one of the main reasons why it doesn't translate is because the international game is way different, which would explain why when you see Larson from the Miami Heat, when he gets in friendlies in the international game, why he gets busy. Why Luka, who's already acclimated to the pro game here, but why he was getting busy in Europe. Why Joker gets busy in the FIBA World Championships or the Olympics, or why he gets busy in international play. The reason why these guys get busy is because they're in their natural habitat. If you watch if you watch the Euro League, if you watch the Euro Basketball Championships coming up, I can promise you, you are going to see some of the best basketball that you've ever seen in your life. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm not thinking maybe. I'm not thinking possibly. I'm thinking that you are going to see some of the best basketball that you've ever seen in your life. Way more ball movement, way more screening, way more action. Guys don't get pushed off the box. Not only do guys not get pushed off the box, guys are playing defense, pushing guys off the box. So you're going to see way more detail when you watch the Euro Basketball Championships, because I think the Euro game is way more acclimated to, more than anything, I think it's acclimated more to detail. How to come off screens. When you coming off screens, what are you looking for? What space are you look when you come off the screen and you have space? All right, where are you looking to operate within that space? Because I'm sorry, just because I got a lot of space does not mean I know what I'm doing. So I could come off a screen, I could come off a curl screen, and with me coming off a curl screen, I could have a guy behind me, and I could stop right in front of him and shoot. I could do that, possibly draw a foul, or that guy gets hit on that screen. Instead of me curling, I come off that screen and I'm looking for the basketball and I got some area to operate in. Well, if I got some area to operate in, there's a specific space within that area that I want to operate in. Whether I want to get a shot, whether I want to get downhill, whether I want to make a move to get to a spot, there's specific spaces in that area that I want to operate in. You're going to see more of that in the EuroBasket Championships. And the reason why you're going to see more of that, because they pay way more attention to detail. They pay way more attention to small things like coming off a screen, slipping a screen. One of the main reasons why Giannis, which I think is interesting too, I was watching the WNBA, right? I was watching the WNBA, and I'm watching Aaliyah Boston and Mitchell get into their action. We're watching them two get into their action. I think that, what up, E? We're watching Aaliyah and Mitchell get into their action. One of the main reasons why that works is because Aaliyah Boston is such a good screener. This doesn't work. None of that action works if she doesn't screen. Well, the same logic goes for guys like Wemby, who's young and learning, guys like Giannis, who could be better in the pick and pop, but he's not. And the reason why he's not is because he doesn't screen as well. Now, Giannis isn't an indicator for the rest of the Euros, because there's plenty of Euros or plenty of guys internationally, and not just big guys, but wings like Nicholas Batum. Let's see, like Nicholas Batum, like Bojan, who screen and know how to utilize themselves while screening. They're not afraid to get hit. And once they screen, they know how to either dive to the basket, they know how to flare. And that's the kind of stuff that you're going to see in this international play. I think the thing that I'm looking forward to the most with this international play is I'm looking for the action. That's what I'm looking for the most. And the reason why I say that is because we live in a space in America where there's a lot of one-on-one basketball, and with the one-on-one basketball, which I don't mind. I want to make sure that I'm clear when I say that. I don't mind one-on-one basketball. I don't mind isolation basketball, because you got to be able to take advantage of mismatches. You have to. So I don't mind one-on-one basketball. But what I do mind is I mind one-on-one basketball when it's not conducive with making our offense better. Now, if you mismatch hunting, or if you coming down and you just giving the ball to this one guy on the wing and he's cleaning the whole left side of the floor out, I mean, that works once in a while. But when you consistently get action and you consistently get ball movement, like these Euro teams, like Turkey, for example, like Serbia, like Portugal, for example. When I watch, there's one team that I vividly remember last year in the Olympics, and that was Germany. I vividly remember watching Germany last year and marveling at how good they were. I didn't realize Germany was that good. I did not. I'd be lying if I said, yo, I knew Germany was that good. No, I didn't. No, I did not. I did not know that they had that kind of action. Excuse me. I did not know that they had that kind of point guard. Dennis Schroeder looks so much different in international play. Dennis Schroeder looks so much better in the international game than he does in the NBA game. Way different. Way different. So, hang on for 1 second. Way different. Excuse me for 1 second. Way different in the internet. Dennis Schroeder looked way different in the international game than he did in the NBA. And I think that that's largely due to players having to utilize each other more in the international game. Watch when you see Slovenia. Watch how Luka plays off the rest of them dudes, as opposed to how he does in the NBA. Watch when you watch Spain play, right? When you watch Spain play, watch what Spain looks like in terms of in terms of their group. Watch what Spain looks like. Watch how Spain, in terms of their action, watch how they feed off of each other. Watch how the ball moves. It doesn't stick to anybody's hands. We're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that in Europe, right? Watch when you watch that Spain team, that Spanish team. Watch how much different the game is watching these guys than it is in the NBA. I promise you, the game that I saw, I remember watching the Olympics, and I remember the game that I saw vividly. It was Australia against Serbia, and unfortunately, and this is the downside to it. Unfortunately, Australia doesn't have the personnel to compete, not at that level, but at the gold medal level. They have the personnel to compete internationally because they got players to do that. However, to compete at the gold medal space, they don't have the personnel to do that. But I'll tell you what they do have. When I watched that Australian team against Serbia with Josh Giddey and Patty Mills and Jacques Lindell looks super whack. Not super whack. I'm not going to say super whack. That's harsh. He looks different in the NBA than he does in the international game. And I think in the international game, they utilize his skill set. Jacques Lindell can screen. Jacques Lindell dives to the basket. He just isn't the talent that they have in Serbia. He's just not that good. Like in that Australian team, they're not that good in terms of talent. But the action that they run, the consistent movement, they got this. They had this one play. I'll never forget it. While I was watching them against Serbia in the Olympics, they got this one action where I got Patty Mills on the left. I got Patty Mills on the left wing. I got, I had Josh Giddey out high. I got Patty Mills on the left wing. I got the other guard. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. But I got the other guard here. And then I got a big stepping up. To set a screen. So I got Patty Mills coming around the screen. In addition to Patty Mills coming around the screen, I got the big coming high to get the ball. So the big's operating at the nail. He pops. Josh Giddey, not Josh Giddey. Patty Mills comes around. So I got cross action. With me having cross action, these guys don't just flare out. No. When these guys come off this cross action, one, they hitting somebody. They're not just coming off this cross action just to do it. They're coming off this cross action and they're hitting somebody. And both of these guys are diving to the basket. while these guys are diving to the basket, Josh Giddey is setting a screen on the weak side of the floor, and that guy is coming off that screen, and he's cutting hard. He's coming off that screen tight, and he's cutting hard to the basket, wide open. And if the big guy misses him, fine. Let me tell you why it's fine. Because when that guy comes off of that screen, here comes Patty Mills coming right behind him, coming right back to the top, wide open. That's constant action. That's constantly keeping the defense on their heels, right? Constantly keeping the defense on their heels. The Australian national team, they play beautiful basketball. I think the problem is, the biggest problem with they just don't have the talent. You're going to see, if you care about basketball and you care about watching basketball in a good way, I don't mean throw the ball to the wing, go one-on-one. I'm talking about action. I'm talking about actual playing. I'm talking about back screen, cut to the I'm talking about back screen, pop to the ball. I'm talking about coming off the screen and that screener pops right back to the ball. I'm talking about when that screener comes off the ball and he dives to the rim and he's not open, that weak side man is back screening for him. He's popping to the ball. I'm talking about stuff like that when I talk about action. If you want to see that kind of basketball, please tune into the Euro. Please tune into the EuroBasket championships, because I can promise you, you're going to see some damn good basketball. I'm not saying that you're going to see good basketball. You're going to see some damn good basketball. Now, I know that when looking at the French national team, the Serbian national team, I can appreciate looking at these teams and going, well, you really can't compete as long as we have LeBron James or we got Steph Curry. You can't really compete from a talent standpoint. And to be honest with you, on some level, that is true. I'm not going to argue that point, right? On some level, that is true. There's something to be said for just being more talented. I mean, that's just we're just better than you. There's really not much that you can do about that, right? There's really not much that you can do about that. We are just better than you. However, when you don't have that anymore, and the guys that you have coming up, right? The guys that you have coming up aren't exactly what the guys that are going out were when they were at the top of their game. I think this leaves you in a vulnerable position. Because is it realistic to think that Kevin Durant in 3 summers from now, I mean, he turns 37 in September. So he'll be 39 3 years from now, right? Is he going to play in the Olympics again? For, let's see, he was on the 08 team, he was on the 12 team, he was on the 21 team, and he was on the 21 team, he was on the 20 team, and he was on the 24 team. So is it realistic for me to think that KD can play in 5 different Olympics? Carmelo Anthony played. He was on that 04 team. He was on that 08 team. He's on that 12 team. I think he was on that 16 team too, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say he was on that 16 team. But at some point, you know, you do have to bow out, right? You do have to bow out. And I can honestly say, I don't think KD is going to be on the Olympic team in 28. I do think he'll be extended an invitation. I don't think that he'll be on it because, I mean, at some point you got to you have to move on from what was, right? So my man Lee Mack, really quickly, I gotta do some housekeeping real quick, guys. My man Lee Mack says, do you support NBA players in the Olympics, or would you rather kept the spotlight for amateurs to shine? No, Lee, I definitely supported NBA players in the Olympics off the strength that we were the only country that wasn't using pros. Everybody else was doing it. Everybody else was doing it. That 88 team was evidence with Sabonis and Divac. I mean, they had a bomb squad on that team. That team was a bomb squad of pros with Petro, Stoyat with Petrovic and Sabonis. I mean, they had a great team. fantastic. And these countries were using pros, and with these countries using pros, we are using 18 and 19-year-olds. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that because you're an 18, 19-year-old, that doesn't mean that you're a pro. But when a guy, that doesn't mean that you're not a pro. But when a guy has been like Sabonis, has been in Europe for the last 6-7 years, and he's 26 years old, you know, this 18 or 19-year-old that's in college that hasn't played against that level of talent ever. Meanwhile, you've been playing against pros for the last 12 years. I mean, the last 10 years, I think the competition level and your preparation is going to be a little bit different. A little bit different. Salam, Alba. Salam, have it, no doubt. With that being said, I do support. I did. I thought that with the emergence of NBA players, at least you get the best talent on the floor, right? At least you get the best talent on the floor. And with the best talent on the floor, we can see who the best team in the world is. We don't have to, we don't have to dilly-dally. We don't have to go around and, well, if we had this dude, if we had that dude, well, you had an opportunity to have him. Same thing in 2004. Argentina had the best team in the world. Well, our best players didn't play. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. That's a you problem. 100%. That's definitely a you problem. So with that, right? With that being said, I think that having NBA players, I think that we get to see the best talent on the floor at the same time. And I think that we get to see what an undisputed heavyweight champion looks like. And I love that. I 100% love that. Hang on for 1 second. I do. I love that. And I feel like with the EuroBasket championships, players like this kid Larson that plays for the Miami Heat, I promise you, you're going to watch him, right? I promise you're going to watch Larson. Because I think Larson is on that Spanish team, if I'm not mistaken. But you're going to watch him, and you're going to be like, damn, he nice. Who he play for? Yeah, plays for the Miami Heat. Like Fontecchio, I think Fontecchio's in Miami too. He was in Detroit. When Fontecchio ends up getting busy, you're going to be like, damn, I didn't know he was that good. Yeah, he is that good. Because a lot of these guys that you see in the NBA, their natural habitat is exactly what you're going to see in the EuroBasket championships. The way that they play basketball. That's exactly how they was raised to play basketball. They had to adjust, right? They had to adjust coming to the NBA because it's a different game. Completely different game. Now, that doesn't mean that, right? That doesn't mean that these guys don't, right? That doesn't mean that these guys don't come to the NBA and are fantastic. Peace, God. That doesn't mean that these guys don't come to the NBA and aren't fantastic. Yes, they are. Because plenty of them, Luka, for an example, has said, coming here, it's a lot less difficult to score. It's a lot less physical here. So the game looks a little bit different here than it does in Spain. The game looks a lot different than it does in France, no doubt. And I promise you, when you watch the EuroBasket championships and you watch these players, you're going to be like, damn, who does he play for? How come I don't see that when he's with the Miami Heat? How come I don't see that when he was with Detroit? And the reason why is because he's used differently. And because he's used differently, you don't get to see not just him just being used differently. The offense is different. Defensively, he's used differently. So because he's used differently, you don't get to see them maximize what he is. You're going to see that in the EuroBasket championships. You're going to see Fontecchio. You're going to see Luka. You're going to see Giannis. Right? You're going to see a bunch of these guys that already play in Larson. You're going to see guys like that who've played in the NBA where you're like, damn, yo, how come he isn't this good? You're going to watch these guys and say to yourself, man, if he was used more like this, he'd be so much better. Larson, for example, one of the things that is great with Larson, even though they don't run the offense through him, he's great off the basketball. That's because he was raised like that. He was raised to not watch. He was raised to do something off the basketball. And I don't just mean do anything. No. I'm not saying that. No. I'm talking about moving with a purpose. I'm talking about being somewhere where you're going to be effective. So if Larson gets off the ball, he's going to set a screen, and then he's slipping that screen, going to the basket. If you're looking for him, you hit him. If you don't hit him, he's cutting through. In the process of him cutting through, he's not just going to cut through and stand in the corner. No, he's going to cut through. He's going to set a back screen. And with him setting the back screen, that defender that's covering Larson naturally is going to have to help because he just set a back screen on that guy's man. So naturally, you're going to have to help. What does Larson do? Cut right to the basket. Cut right to the basketball where he's wide open, whether at the nail or close to the long ball line, where he can do something with the ball. That's the kind of action that you're going to see with him in the EuroBasket championships. Unfortunately, with Spo, you don't see it as much because I think the offense isn't catered around, even though they do a lot of ball movement, and I think that there's going to be more this season. And I wouldn't be surprised if Larson is used more because from what I understand, they love him down in Miami. They don't like him with the Miami Heat. They love him. Absolutely. And I see why. I do. I definitely see why. And I'll be interested to see how they use him this season. Because I mean, again, if we're being honest, right? I think if we're being honest, how many of these players that you watch that are just on the bench in the league, and you're like, yo, this dude can't play? Well, I can probably tell you right now, right? I can probably tell you right now that there's plenty of guys that are in the NBA that are on the bench, right? There are probably guys that are on the bench where I can say that guy should be playing more. He can play a lot better than you think he can. Larson is a prime example of that with the Miami Heat. Like this dude Havoc said, name your 12-man roster for the World Championship team in 2026. Well, that team's going to be different than the Olympic team in 28. It's going to be a lot different than the Olympic team in 28. There's going to be guys on that FIBA World Championships in 26. Right? I think that there's going to be guys on that FIBA World Championships team in 26 that's different, way different. Like Jayson Tatum ain't playing. Anthony Edwards, I don't think he's going to play. Halliburton's not going to play. Bam's not going to play. Devin Booker's not going to play. Jaylen Brown's not going to play. I said Halliburton already. Halliburton's not going to play. Like I said, Bam's not going to play. Anthony Davis is not going to play. Evan Mobley maybe will play. Right? I think Evan Mobley will play. But I think that the FIBA World Championships in 26, you're going to see a way different team. Yeah, I think you're going to see a way different team in 26 than you will with the Olympics in 28. Those two teams are not going to be the same. I think the last time we won the FIBA World Championships, I want to say either not in 14, in 94 with Shaq and Sean Kemp and Derek Coleman. I think that's the last time we won the FIBA World Championships. Yeah, I think that's the last time. Harvey, I got Serbia winning it. I do. I think they got the best team. I think either them or France got the best team in Europe. I think one of those two teams are going to win the EuroBasket championship. Now, that's not to say that Greece isn't going to be great, because in addition to Giannis, Greece got a fantastic point guard. Right? I think Greece has a great point guard. I've always dug their point guard. Teams like Greece, Serbia, France. I think Germany's got a good team. Yeah, I think Germany's got a damn good team with France, with Dice. Dennis Schroeder, I think, is going to play. I don't think he's going to play in the World Championships, but he might. But I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a different team. I do. I think you're going to see a different team in 26 than you do in 28. Half that team is not going to be on the roster. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Brunson got a call back. That wouldn't surprise me at all. If Jalen Brunson got a call back to play in the World Championships, Ant may play again, but I think that I think it's a little bit different with Ant because I think Ant is going to be more focused on the Olympics than he's going to be in the World Championships. Because that's, to be honest with you, that's a big commitment. I think that that's a huge commitment playing in the FIBA World Championships. Not that guys haven't done it. I mean, Shaq did it in 94. He was young. Shaq did it in 94 and then played in the Olympics in 96, right? He's done that. We had some guys on that 14 team with the FIBA World Championships that played in the Olympics in 16. So I think that there's some players that could make the 26. I think there's some players that could make the 26 squad, but I would not be surprised if it was a completely different roster. Now, this is why, and I'm on record saying this, and I will stand on it. I'm with Kyrie Irving because I do know that there's a couple of guys that I got them. I already got them stamped for 28. I got Jayson Tatum stamped for 28. I got Bam, Mobley. Right? I got Jayson Tatum, Mobley, Anthony Edwards, Halliburton, Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown. Like those are the guys that I'm thinking about that I got those guys stamped. Now I'm in favor of what Kyrie Irving talked about. So I got 5 or 6 guys, maybe Anthony Davis, right? Anthony Davis. In addition to Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant's probably going to get. Yeah, Kevin Durant's probably going to get an invite. But those are the guys that I'm thinking about right now that I think are stamped. And again, remember, this is 3 years from now. This isn't next summer. This is in 3 years. And a lot of these guys are going to be better. A lot of these guys could be in a different space. I don't know. That part I don't know. But I'm a fan of what Kyrie Irving was talking about. I want to bring tryouts back. I do. So if I got these 5 guys that I already got stamped, right? If I already got these 5 guys that I already got stamped, how about I open up camp and I send an invite to another 35 guys. And I sent an invite to 35 guys. In the process of me sending an invite to 35 guys, I already got 5 guys. I got 7 roster spots. And I got 35 guys in camp. With these 35 guys in camp, that means of every 5 of you guys, of every 7 of you, I got 7 roster spots. So it's 1 spot for every 5 of you guys. So for every 5 of you guys, every 5 of you guys is competing for one roster spot, right? So with that being said, I think that the competition level would be way different, right? I in addition to the competition level being way different, I think you can get a better outcome because you could get a better idea of a fit instead of, yo, I'm just putting a bomb squad together. Nah, because guys like Donovan Clingan, I think, I like Donovan Clingan, not just Donovan Clingan, Jalen Duren. I think Jalen Duren is going to be on the Olympic team in 28. If of course you actually open this up and make this a tryout where you got 35 guys, 40 guys in camp. If you do that, I'm so down right? I'm so down to actually make that happen, because when I feel like when you do that, I think it looks way different. I just think it looks way different. So I do want to see tryouts come back. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm not thinking maybe, I'm not thinking possibly. I do want to see tryouts come back, because I think you can get a better gauge. I think you can get a better idea of who you want on the crew. I think that these guys, if we get 35, 40 guys in camp competing for 7 spots, if I got 35 guys in camp, I already got 5 guys that I know that's penciled in. And I got a 12-man roster that I'm looking for, right? So I got 7 more guys, right? I got 7 more. I got 7 more spots. If I get 35 guys in here, then I'm inviting to Vegas. I'm inviting you guys to Vegas. I got 35 guys. Who down? Right? Who's down? Who's down? I got 7 spots. Battle for the spot. I'm a big fan of that. I've always been a big fan of that. I will always be a big fan of that. I've never really been, even though we've had throughout the course of the last, I don't know, what are we in, 2025? At least 15 years. Excuse me, at least 15 years. I think we've had the most talent in the world over the last 15 years. No doubt about that. I can't say the last 20 years, because you saw what happened to us in the Olympics in 2004. And not only did you see what happened to us in the Olympics in 2004, you saw what happened to us in the World Championships in 2006. Yeah, you saw what happened to us. So because of that, I think that not that the world is catching up from a talent standpoint. I just don't think that we can just rely solely on talent anymore. That I don't think, right? I don't think that we can rely solely on just putting bomb squads together, because we survived last summer because we got a Herculean effort from James, from Curry, from KD, right? We got a Herculean effort from these guys. With us getting a Herculean effort from them, I mean, these guys are on their way out. Curry ain't playing in the Olympics in 28. He's not. James ain't playing in the Olympics in 28. That's 3 years from now. He's going to be what, 43? Going on 44? No. I think they're gonna extend an invite to KD, but how much are we really relying on KD? Right? How much are we really relying on KD? I don't think we're relying on KD that much. I doubt that I doubt that we're relying on him a lot. I doubt it. So that means that we're gonna have to put that means that we're gonna have to put a crew together that's viable, that could compete for the gold medal in 28. And there's people that's really worried about our status in 28. Could we lose? Considering we're going to lose James, we're going to lose Curry, we're going to lose KD, because I don't think KD is going to be at 40 years old, 30 to 39, going on 40. I don't think he's going to be what he was 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. I don't think he's going to be that. So, with that being said, who is our national team going to be built around? Because I can promise you this. When you watch these EuroBasket, when you watch this EuroBasket championships, I'm telling you, man, you are going to see a brand of basketball. And you're going to watch these teams and you're going to say to yourself, yo, they are good. They are really good. Watch out for them. Because I did the same thing with that Spanish team in 2008. I did the exact same thing with that Spanish team in 2008. Not sort of, kind of. I did the same thing. 100%. Like that Spanish team in 2008, we don't give them nearly enough credit for how good they were. Everybody just looks at what we had. Kobe saved us, LeBron this, and Kevin Durant that, and Chris Paul this. Not realizing that Spanish team was a bomb squad, and it wasn't just put together. Rudy Fernandez, Pau Gasol, Marc Gasol, Rubio. These dudes been playing together for a long time. They've been playing together for a long time. And with them playing together for a long time, there's a reason why they were in the gold medal game twice. Right? There's a reason why they were in the gold medal game twice. Not once. Twice. So I'm looking at this 2008 Spanish roster, and now don't get me wrong. I'm not going to argue that just because you were good then doesn't mean you're going to be good now. But I feel a lot more comfortable saying that these teams are better because of the developmental program. Right? So that Spanish team with Mark Gasol and his brother, Pal, Ricky Rubio, Rudy Fernandez, Jose Calderon, Felipe Reyes, Carlos Jimenez. They had a good-ass team, yo. They had a damn good team and was in a dogfight with Team USA. A dogfight with them. We got a 2-possession game late in the game with Bryant, with James, with Dwayne Wade, with Dwight Howard on the floor. We got a damn good ball game going on. It was Bryant who closed it out. No doubt about that, and I won't argue that. And we ended up prevailing. When you watch these EuroBasket championships, I promise you, you are going to see some different players in the. You're going to see some different players in this, and you're going to say to yourself, this thing is not going to be as much of a walk in the park as I think it's going to be. As much as I think it's going to be. No, it's not. I'm on record saying it that I think that Anthony Edwards is going to be the best guard in the game in the next 3 years. I'm on record saying that, and I stand on that. I think he's going to be one of the faces of Team USA. Yes. I'm not on the fence about that. I'm not thinking maybe. I'm not thinking possibly. I think he is 100% going to be that. Hang on. I think 100% he's going to be that, right? So because of that, I think you having I think you having a commitment, right? I think you have a commitment from him. I think you have a commitment from Jayson Tatum, because I think Jayson Tatum gets back to who he was. And with him getting back to who he was, with Anthony Edwards being at the top of his game, I think Donovan Mitchell's going to be on the Olympic team also. I do. I'd be surprised if Donovan Mitchell not only did not get an invite, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't on the crew. Because I do think he's that good. But I will say that this Team USA that we got coming up in 28, I think we're looking at a completely different roster. I think that we're looking at I think that we're looking at a completely different roster. I think we're looking at a completely different style of play from 28 than we saw in 20. Because we do have some holdovers from that 2020 team. Like on that 24 team with Jayson Tatum and Bam and Book and Drew Holiday. They won, and Kevin Durant. They won that Olympic team in 2020. Yes. They 100% were. But here's the $1 million question. Who from that Olympic team is going to be a holdover? Who from the 24 team is going to be a holdover in 28? Because I can tell you who's not going to be on the team. I don't think James is going to be there. I don't think Curry's going to be there. I don't think Joel Embiid's going to be there. Drew Holiday's not going to be there. So I think that's 4 guys right there. That's four guys right there that I don't think is going to be there. No. So if you already have a commitment from like 5 or 6 guys, let's open up tryouts, B. Let's do that. Let's open up tryouts. In the process of opening up tryouts, we got 7 open spots. Let's battle for the spots. Let's do that. But what I'm the most anxious about is I'm looking forward to, right? I'm looking forward to seeing how this roster is going to be constructed, and I'm looking forward to the EuroBasket championships. I'm 100% going to watch that. I 100% am going to watch that. I'm going to see these international players who, like, I won't say it. I can't say it enough. I don't think that we give these guys nearly as much credit for who they are. I had to come off the logic of these Euros being soft. I had to come off the logic of these Euros not knowing how to play basketball. I had to come off of that. I 100% had to come off of that. And the reason why I had to come off that is because guys like Tony Kukoc, Marshallonis, Dirk Nowitzki, right? Guys like that, they showed me that, yo, these Euros can play. These Euros 100% can play. Joker, I don't put Giannis in there. And the reason why I don't put Giannis in there, and I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but yeah, Giannis grew up in Greece. Giannis is Nigerian. I'm going to say it. A lot of y'all won't say it, and a lot of y'all will just sit on it. Yes, he grew up in Greece. Giannis is Nigerian. That's where his roots are. Just like Serge Ibaka, even though Serge Ibaka played for that Spanish team. I think Serge Ibaka is from the Congo, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think his people are from the Congo. He ended up moving to Spain. So I think that I definitely had to come off of that. Because if I didn't, I'd be sitting around just looking real goofy. Still saying the same thing that I was saying, right? Still saying the same thing that I was saying 15 years ago about Euros, which can't be further from the truth today. It can't be. It cannot be further from the truth today. These guys are much better today. They're tougher than what I gave them credit for. Not only are they tougher than what I gave them credit for, they're a lot more skilled. I definitely think that I have to give these Euros way more credit than I did. Way more credit than I did. I think that we got a bunch of different teams, and I know that some of y'all, right? I know that some of y'all aren't really that comfortable with what's going on with Danny Adbia, but I'm interested to see him in the EuroBasket championships, because I know, one, he is a baller. Let's be clear about that right now. He 100% is a baller. But if I look at like the Lithuanian squad, no Sabonis, which I think is interesting. Yeah, no Sabonis. Yeah, that's interesting. No Sabonis on that Lithuanian squad. That Italian squad, they're going to be good. They're going to be really good. With even though Gallinari is a little long in the tooth, but Italy always has a good team. I don't know what it is about them, but they always have a good team. Like, DiVincenzo is going to be on that crew. Let's see, Gallinari is going to be on that crew. Fontecchio is going to be on that crew. Melli's going to be on that crew. They got a good team. They got a damn good team. That Italian team. So if there's some teams that I'm looking at that I'm saying, yo, you need to pay attention to them. If there's some teams that I'm thinking you need to pay attention to them, I think it's interesting that Zubac isn't playing for Bosnia, considering that's where he's from. Like that's some of his lineage, but he's not playing for that Bosnian team. Musa, on the other hand, who plays for Real Madrid, is really good. So is Attic. But this German team, I can tell you right now, they are going to be trouble. And like, no, Dennis Schroeder ain't playing, which I think is interesting. Yeah, no Dennis Schroeder. No Theis. No France. I haven't no France, which I think is interesting. France isn't playing, which I'm not aware of. I don't know why, but he's not. And I mean, I guess that's what it is. Hang on for 1 second. I know that Zubac is Bosnian. I do know that, but the Turkish national team, Sidi Osman, who used to play for the Cavs, he plays for Pana. He's gonna play, which I think is good. Shane Larkin is interesting because I didn't know that Shane Larkin had Turkish citizenship. I did not know that. That's interesting. But I think that that should be good. Shane Larkin is nice as hell, by the way, in the EuroLeague. One of the best players, right? One of the best players in the EuroLeague. Like, he looked like Kyrie Irving over there in the EuroLeague. Like, he gets busy in the EuroLeague. And I'm talking about busy in the EuroLeague. He's one of the best players in the world. But that's the thing. Like, he comes to the NBA and he looked like he can't play at all. That's because, and it's not because of his skill set. It's because of the way the game is constructed. It's because of the way the game is constructed. Put Shane Larkin in a system that's conducive to his game, man, please. Now he looks like one of the best guards in the game. Way different. So again, I'm looking at the EuroBasket championships, and man, I think that we got something serious. I do. I think that we got something serious. This Israeli team, I don't see Danny Adbia's name. Yeah, I don't see Danny Adbia's name on their roster. Excuse me, I don't see Danny Adbia's name on their roster. I do see Ben Saraf's name on the roster. Ben Saraf was in Germany last year. He was on Ohm. He was on that crew. So I will be paying attention. I thought Danny Avdija was playing for Israel, but clearly he is not. Nope. Giannis, on the other hand, is going to play for Greece. Giannis is going to play for Greece. Who else? The Greek national, this Greek team got a bunch of dudes from Panathinaikos. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 guys from Panathinaikos on that crew. 5 of them. Nope. This is the 25 roster, sir. Yes, sir. This is the 20 European Championships 25 roster. And I'm looking at Giannis is going to be on it. Yep, Kostas is going to be on it. And they in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They got 27 guys on this roster. Well, of course, they ain't taking 27 guys. We already know that. So this is probably the training camp roster. But what I do know is, like, this is what the 5 looks like. Tyler Dorsey, he plays for Olympiacos. But that's what I got to find out too, Jay. I got to find out where exactly they're going to be broadcasted. Yep. That's what I got to find out. Exactly where we're going to find this at. It may be on TNT. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be like a streaming thing more than it's going to be. Let's see. When I look at it, Oklahoma City. Watch these games at 12:30. FIBA. I'm pretty confident because what they did with if you remember, Jay, with if you remember, Jay, with Euro with the FIBA World Championships, it was broadcasted on Fox. So this may be as well, right? This may very well be the same thing. It may be broadcasted on Fox too. I don't know exact. I can't say that with 100% certainty, but I'm gonna go with that. Yep. I'm gonna go with that. I think that this thing is gonna be broadcasted on Fox, whether it's live, because that's why I was able to catch that's why I was able to catch the FIBA games. Right? That's why I was able to catch the FIBA games, whether it was live or I was able to catch it on tape delay, whether they played already. So we'll see. But like I said, this Greek national team, right? I think this Greek national team, pretty impressive. Yep. This Greek national team, pretty impressive. That Turkish team, the German team, because again, this was just updated in August. This was just updated on the 5th, right, which was last week. Right? This was just updated on the 5th of last week. These rosters. And teams like Finland, because Lauri Markkanen plays for them, right? Lauri Markkanen plays for, but he's not playing for Finland. He ain't on their roster. And Lauri Markkanen is Finnish. And I don't mean Finnish like he's over, like he's from Finland. So why isn't he playing in the EuroBasket championships? Interesting. Wow. I think that's interesting. Why wouldn't Lauri Markkanen be playing in the EuroBasket championships? And by the way, this goes from the end of August 27th to September the 14th. Training camp opens like the next week in the NBA, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, I think that's a damn good thing to be able to just segue, because you figure, what else are you doing? Right? What else are you doing that whole summer? What else are you doing? Man. Because I know one thing. I know one thing. A lot of these guys, when they get on, a lot of these guys, when they get on these international teams, and you go right from the Olympics right to training camp, you see how sharp these guys are. I made a mistake, right? I ended up making a mistake in talking about Bam, because I remember with Bam, I was like, yo, because I seen guys that played in the Olympics and they end up that next season getting busy. Like I saw Barkley like get super busy. I saw Jayson Tatum go from the Olympics, right? I saw Jayson Tatum go from the Olympics to back to the Celtics in the 21-22 season. He was first team All-Pro the very next year. So I thought that and the way I saw Bam playing in the Olympics, I'm like, yo, I got Bam making an All-Pro team this year. I think this is a leap year for Bam. It just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. But I'm looking forward to. I'm 100% looking forward to. I'm 100% looking forward to the EuroBasket championships, and if we end up broadcasting some games, yes, I will definitely be in the mix to that. So you can definitely look for me on that. So just like you can look for me weeknights right here on Chilltown Hoops, right here on the YouTube, right here on the Chilltown Hoops Network on YouTube. And if you can't find me there, you can find me every morning 9 a.m. on TikTok. Good Morning NBA. And if you can't find me there, you can find me on the panel from 11 to 2 right here on YouTube on the Players Choice Network. I am not hard to find. So it's about that time for me, guys. It was good to see you guys tonight. Talk some good basketball, talk some hoops. I will see you guys soon. You know where to find me. Until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I will talk to you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good to see you guys tonight. This was dope. I enjoyed this.